is, and it's guiding it a little bit. I'm really just doing this hand to push, but most of the work is happening with my thumb.
So we're going to show you some of the tools that we have available to our students, and we just want, we want our students to try everything out as they get rolling. They're kind of in progress. We're on day one of our Star Hill Method Essentials class. So we have a lot of different layout tools. We got the Easy B, Easy L, Easy C, Easy T. Many different types of chisels. A lot of them are out in the field right now. We've got a number of different jigs. A lot of different types of saws. We've got 7 1/4 battery power, 10 1/4. We got 16 1/4 inch saws. A number of different kinds of a drill rig, a MAFL drill rig, a couple of different chain mortisers. Over in the corner here, we've got a MAFL chain mortiser. And right down here, just some sanders, some wire brushes, different types of routers for routering mortises, and a lot of different types of saws. So this is our digital timber framing manual. It's an 86-page manual. In the front, and it's made on poly paper, which makes it very grease resistant, dirt resistant, tear resistant. It's on 11 by 17, and it sits nice and flat on the workbench. On the front, there's a lot of good information about different timber framing practices. And as we get towards the back of the manual, again, knee brace information, centerline information. In the back of the manual, there's really two sections. So the first section shows you how to lay out a joint. This one is for a tenon, so it shows you exactly how to lay it out. And then the next section shows you exactly how to cut that. So it's a step-by-step recipe for layout, which is a lot more detailed than you find in most manuals. It does show the Star Hill tools, but you can accomplish the same using a framing square, a combo square, and a speed square. In the back of the manual, we'll find a number of different plans. So those are the plans that we have. And we have some complete plans back here for sawhorses, for ponies, and a couple of mailbox projects, and a couple of small projects, an arch project, to help you get started, help you get used to the plans. You can purchase plans at starhilltimberworks.com tools. If you need a digital copy, starhilltimberworks.com/start, and you can download a digital copy.
It's getting there. We're just hung up on this corner.
But sharp pencils, and we'll get a little. When it gets to the point where it wants to break, that's where you're sharp. When the end's starting to flake off, that's what I want to see. And as you use it, it will develop kind of that knife point.
Yeah, we're working on knee brace layout.
And slight a line as I can manage. And as we make errors and have to erase things, that will make more sense. So our critical dimension here is 43 1/8 inches. Where did I? We could make a story stick. Any flat object, we can measure, put tape at our dimension.
Yeah, look right here. Chop that edge whenever you pare into it. This chip will break off.
So what does the shaded area represent? What? It's the reference base. And
It's getting there. We're just hung up on this corner.
pretty much we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to try everything out, you know, and that way when you try everything out, you're going to be able to, at the end of the class, you're going to be able to decide what works best for you, because everybody's a little bit different, and it just is, you know, we encourage students to come to class, try things, and then figure out what works. Right here, first up was knee braces. So we've got some knee braces that are in progress. We want a quick win for our students. So the first thing we have them do is cut a knee brace. That gets some chiseling, get some cutting, get some layout done, get that stuff under the belt so that we can, yeah, so you have a quick win and kind of get a feel for what you're going to do. Once we've completed the you know, our knee braces, what we're doing here is we are doing a layout demo. You know, layout's generally the most difficult thing to wrap your head around, but we have the Star Hill method and teach it for quite some time, and we've got a pretty good process for doing the layout.
Yeah, so that's not to over pull, because you can
rock.
yeah, exactly. You can convince yourself otherwise. So this looks like this is touching down here, but I've got daylight up here. Cool. Just check the whole length. And remember, I'm looking for my square-ish or square-ish edge.
Not bad.
It's surprisingly not bad.
Yeah.
I cheated and I already went down this one. That one's not great right there. But it gets okay-ish. I might change my mark so that I know. Once you start brushing your sometimes it's easy to lose in your head where in your timber you are, and that helps you reestablish what you're doing. All right. So we have established our best edge, good corners, reference faces. This whole face into a reference face. So, and then we are going to remember that we can pull dimensions off here and here. And I see that layout. Thank you. So you can do this. You can do this. You can turn around and do that, but we cannot do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're going to remember that by adding these circles to this side. This is a good corner.
And on the plans, you have the little
So
delta additionally.
that is indicating the reference side that you cannot see.
Okay.
So if this is, as this is facing you currently, it would be laid out like this.
Okay, I got
You
you.
can't see the top.
So you see this one, this faces up, the diamond or the
We
triangle.
can see it now, but
Yep.
yeah. But on the plans, yes, its length would be.
Yeah, it would be
I-
this way for me.
okay.
I'm upside down. But so remember, this is your best edge, good corners. You cannot hook a reference tool or pull dimensions from a non-reference face or good corner. That is a no-go. That means that keeps us consistent. Now all our dimensions are coming from the square space. The square space is now in a 4-post building. These are your outside edges of your post. Any questions on that right away? Which when it does, it's like you can pick which way you decide is square, or be like, oh, okay, that's way out. So I'm gonna stick with this.
Yeah, day one, we spent a lot of time working on knee braces. So we cut knee braces and we taught people layout. And today we're working on layout. So we've got the all the posts laid out. We're working on the tie beams. All the students are laying out a rafter. And just kind of repetition is what helps us figure that out. But you can kind of see that we are doing a little bit of doing layout. We're getting ready to do a chain mortiser demo. And I think by this afternoon, chips are going to be flying, and we are going to be cutting timbers because we're closing in on having everything laid out. How you guys doing?
Getting our butts kicked.
Getting your butts kicked.
Yeah.
Starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
A little bit better today as compared to yesterday.
Yeah. Putting the tools in hand is definitely a big deal.
Yeah, having the tools makes it a heck of a lot easier than, but it does take a little bit of repetition to kind of do it. This is working on your first beam?
Second.
Second beam. All right, so second and third one, then you're going to have it rocking after that.
Set it to its first position and see that it's still. Now you have to and push down, take the pressure off. There you go. Now set it in the line.
What is this line?
If you want to double check so you can see it, I'll hold it. You can move it.
So we're working on a little bit of layout. Over here, we got a little bit more layout going on. We kind of have a layout day, so we're getting our beams laid out. We're getting our posts laid out. Everybody's laying out a rafter. Yesterday, they laid out an e-brace.
Set up for 8-inch beams. So you saw I came up here and had to resize this to fit my 6-inch. There's a movable foot here on the back. And you have this is your tightening lever. And we have our very, very custom safety tape because the back of this Acme screw is sharp. And that'll happen if you buy a new one. This is the first thing I would recommend you do. Put a piece of tape, put something. If you want to take it and hit it with a grinder, that's fine. But every time I loosen and tighten this knob, I bust my knuckle on if I don't have it taped. So when you adjust it, you're going to bring it in, touch the timber, and bring it back just a hair. Maybe three moose hairs. And then snug that down. Then I'm going to look at, there's a 0 here on this scale. And I think this one is different from the other one. I don't 100% trust that scale is accurate, but I'm eyeballing it. I'm going to put my score line on the right-hand side of the red 0 line, which might leave me just a little bit of chiseling, but I am not going to cut over that line. And then I'm going to clamp down. So now, and then I'm going to give a little shake here on this handle, make sure that's secure. It only makes 3 points of contact, so it should be able to deal with any wonkiness in the timber. But if you clamp it down and if it feels snug and this is still wobbly loose, then there's an issue somewhere. This lever, we're going to pretend like it doesn't exist, but we're going to push it all the way forward into that position. It exists so that you can be set up and then advance,
Just move it ahead
forward a little bit. It doesn't work practically in our spacing, the sizings that we use. So leaving it all the way ahead, and then we'll be able to set our forward and backward adjustments. And there's enough, as you see, I'm moving the carriage or the head of this machine. There's enough backlash in this screw that if I go past where I want to be set, I need to come back. So I will always go beyond and then come back to a setting. Because if I don't, when I go to plunge, the saw can jump or chatter. The mortiser.
Where's the registration for how far you're out or in? I mean, I can see the 0 line here.
How far we're out or in is the bar itself.
So you have to look down the bar?
I just did it. I'm going to unplug myself, and I'm going to leave that here. So we'll get there in just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, we're going to get there right now. There are 3 different cutters on this chain. Okay. There's an out, an in, or no, that's the clearing, a middle, and an in cutter. We want to get an out cutter down because that's the widest that the chain will be. What we'll do is we'll plunge 1 cut down, come all the way back up, lock it in place, tilt it, plunge 1 cut down, come all the way back up, lock it in place, 3 cuts down, up.
What is the width? Is that the max set?
You can change it.
Okay.
you can do some adjustments. I don't know what it actually is. So it's pinned. The whole assembly is pinned right here. So it will rotate around that pin. All I'm doing is pushing down with my right hand. The trick with doing that is the right hand also runs the trigger.
Yeah, be careful.
Which again is why when we move this, which we will do, we always grab from the silver handle. It's really tempting to grab here, but if you forget to unplug yourself and you pick this up,
You can kick it on.
yeah. The next thing we need to do is set the depth. This is our depth stop here from this dimension to this little thing on the side.
Okay.
And it has two lines. It's got this line here at the top, and then it has a line through 0. Watch what happens when I drop this and set it on the timber. Does the bottom of this get to about that first line on the depth scale?
Okay.
So that means if I set my dimension from this,
Right.
it is the same as if I am setting from the very bottom of my chain as it's touching
Oh, so you can just measure down.
the bar. The other 0 adds this air gap and the curve of my chain. So I can set my mortise from that 0 and it will go deeper than this, which means we don't have to sweep out or cut out the curve at the bottom. You want to be careful because that's adding, I think it's 1 5/8 inches. This machine will plunge all the way through a 6-inch.
I say you don't want to go through here, right?
Correct. So these are our tenon on our knee brace. This is a knee brace mortise. Is 3.5.
What did you say? 3.5?
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus a 1/2 inch for the housing.
Plus.
And plus any discrepancy in our timber itself. So
Right.
I'm going to set for right now for this first one. I'm going to set to like 4 1/4, 4 3/16
Okay.
off of the 0. So it's going to add that, so I don't have to chisel the bottom. That's a nice layout line.
So Ben is showing our students how to use the Makita 7104L. They pretty much finished up or closing in on their layout. And the next step is going to be to start cutting timbers. And we're doing a demo to show the operation of the mortiser. And then individually, we will show each student how to use the chain mortiser, the safety features, and the process for cutting the mortise so that they can do that on their own timbers. Now we're starting to do some cutting, so we've got kind of the first use of the Makita chain mortiser after the demo. All right, guys, what do you think of that chain mortiser?
I love it.
You love it.
Sure would be drilling all this out.
If he's doing it with a drill,
Yeah, I would think so.
I would think so too. We can pull a drill out for you. Yep. student first time using chain mortiser. The Makita 714L. One plunge. The second plunge. Lock it in. Do a third plunge. You can go zoom it up, lock it in. Yep, this time using chain mortiser. Hey Rich, how's it going? We're on day number 3 of our Star Hill Method Essentials class. How's it going?
Going great. Learning a lot.
What are you learning?
Well, I'm just test fitting these knee braces. We did the mortises yesterday
Okay.
with the chain mortiser. So I just make proof of concept here, and I thought about it last night. Figured I'd come over here and check it the first thing this morning.
How you like the chain mortiser?
Oh, it's a beast. It's nice.
That thing is
I really like it.
It's pretty crazy. Is it better than drilling by hand?
Oh, of course.
It is. And then that knee brace is going to fit in there, and you guys we're going to be probably scribing those in today, huh?
Yeah, I think we got to do the housings today.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. It'd be perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yep.
All right. So doing a little chiseling. Chiseling today, following up from the from yesterday, huh? That's the next step after chain mortising, huh?
Yes, it is.
With our pencil.
You do.
That's the key. That's the key to everything. Basics.
Well, I think when you're timber framing, and it's kind of funny, we get the timber framers and they're just standing around talking. They're all sharpening the pencils
You gotta keep 'em sharp.
because it doesn't it's pretty important. And the next step after chain mortising is doing all this kind of chiseling right here. And Elijah's just cleaning everything up so that the tenons are going to fit nicely into those mortises. We generally cut our mortises right on, and then the tenons are cut maybe a moose hair under the mortise. So once we get done with the mortising, we're going to just do some chiseling. We got to clean everything up a little bit, and we're trying to make sure those mortises, in this case, are right 1.5 inches off the reference face and 1.5 inches thick. We use the framing square to validate that, make sure that slides through there nicely. Then when we cut the tenons, we're going to cut those undersized, maybe half a moose hair undersized. That way that 1.5 inch tenon is going to fit inside that 1.5 inch hole. All right, getting ready to do a little bit of rafter layout. So all the students get to lay out their own rafter. And they're going to utilize,
And we want to make sure too that the crown
this little rafter map. One of the things that's important about the rafter is everything's referenced off of the top. That way when we put we cut the bird's mouth and we put those into place, the tops of the rafters are going to be level because they are referenced off a reference edge. We're just doing a little chain mortising. A lot more proficient. Students learned to run the chain mortiser yesterday, and today we're just kind of on automatic. We're resolving a little issue here with one that's a little bit offset, but we'll get that taken care of a little later in the day. So we're cutting a heavy side of the diminished edge housing right now. We're going to leave the line as we cut down there and finish that off with our chisel.
Looks like it worked well. Good.
And then we're working on finishing this off with a handsaw. So it's a really pretty quick to rough it out with the
Look at that.
rough that.
Money.
There you go.
And it's okay for this face to dish as long as.
All right, we're getting ready just to size some tenons. So we ended up, doing knee braces and did layout, and then did holes. And today we're doing housings and sizing the tenons. So we're on day 3, and we ought to be wrapping timbers towards the end of the day for this project.
Wow, that sharp.
We can roll it up and run the saw
Okay, and okay.
down.
Yep.
And do that.
So we're getting ready to drop cut the tenon on a tie beam using a 10 1/4 inch Bigfoot saw. So the students laid everything out, cut their mortise hole, and now we're getting ready to cut the tenon. The tenon is sized such that we can use a 10 1/4 inch saw at full depth to make that cut. You see right at the bottom, he stops the saw completely before removing that. Here's the second side of that tenon. And we're, again, 10 1/4 inch saw. We make pretty quick work of roughing the tenon out. We stop the saw. And you can see right here that the tenon is in fact roughed out, and we'll have some finishing to do with the handsaw.
Oh, for the.
So we're using the temple rip saw just to finish off this tenon.
Still, it's more cuts, but you can take this 10 1/4 saw and cut in,
I already had enough
cut in,
material. That's
roll all the way over, do the same thing,
so freaked out.
and then do the drop cut, and it's already given you a big chunk of this.
So we're getting ready to show people how to router knee bases using the quarter table setup with a spiral bit. And it works really well using the spiral bit, and then the aluminum guide in a quarter table system keeps the bit right where it's supposed to be. All right, now we've got that all set. Setup works really nice. It just makes quick work of doing the housing, and it's going to be a little round and give us just a little tiny bit to clean up as we kind of go through. And that just gives us a little bit, just a little bit of cleanup. Shooting the Macro, first time using that. Just kind of want to get a feel for how that thing works. The thing is incredibly efficient. It just has a guide that registers off the side, and then the chain pulls it right into the work, and you can cut a mortise in under a minute. So the crew has just started doing some test fitting. They've kind of completed the timbers, and we're going to put everything together and just do some test fittings so that we can validate everything fits. And then we're going to go ahead and put in our knee braces. It's up on sawhorses, which makes it a convenient height. Utilizing truck straps, and it's important when we use truck straps that we go ahead.
Just in time delivery.
You know, put something on the end of the timber with the strap in order to protect that and not dent up the timber. Same kind of protection underneath the metal part of the strap.
And that keeps that from digging into the post or whatever is underneath it. Especially if we get a lot of tension.
Okay.
All right, so that looks like it closes. We still have a gap on the other side. What I'm gonna
Maybe when you get up.
You know what? When you did that, because you could see the twist wheel.
Right, you're
while holding us up
uphill,
way up here.
Well, it's not even resting on that one.
Not now. So it's this one that's holding us up. So right now, Rich, will you grab that sawhorse and pull it out of the way? That lets that down a little bit. You can shim. If you look at this, we're reference face down right now. Okay. That's our theoretical perfect plane that we've been measuring off of. We're up high, and that's our visible face. So it also means that we have to get down and look to see what the joinery is looking at on that face. Some people will also lay out the other way so they can see their reference face is getting the knee braces.
So we're just checking the posts, and once we got the posts lined out, we're going to have to, and they seem to be fitting okay. We're going to go ahead and put a knee brace in there between that mortise and that mortise, make any adjustments that we need to, and at that point that knee brace will be married to this location.
Yeah, that'll work.
We need a persuader.
So we're adding the knee brace and then just kind of tightening things up to see how this all goes together, and then think we'll have to actually be squared up just to make sure that everything fits like we expect it to fit. So we're just kind of tightening things up, just trying to see whether everything's going to go together or we need to make some type of adjustment to it.
Yep. You went to go get a nice pallet.
It's all coming together. Things are tightening up. They're looking pretty decent. Check the bottom side of that mat to see if you got a gap down below.
Where are you hitting this?
A little bit of a gap. Is it which way is the gap?
Should I get a board under there, Gino? Huh? Can I grab a board?
We got to look at, when we take it apart again, we'll look at our knee brace and just evaluate what's going on here and see if it's...
We noted on this one it was half inch, and that was a 3/4 inch.
The edges that are
Proud,
proud.
yeah.
Okay, so something on our knee brace has got a little...
So learning to test fit is really kind of where a lot of learning happens, because you've cut all this stuff and you're going to see that these little lumps and bumps, they make a difference in regards to how your joints go together. Kind of hard to explain that to people, but as we get into the test fitting process, then it becomes very, very obvious that this little bit makes a big difference. So the next time you do the cutting in your shop, you're going to understand what you're going to look for. And then when we have everything,
I think we're out.
What do you got?
everything
112 3/4.
lined up, we're going to kind of measure the ends, and we'll have to measure diagonals.
That's a 16.
So we kind of measured across the base, and we're about 3/4 of an inch out. So what we're going to do right now is put a ratchet strap there and pull that in. We want to make sure that we're nice and tight, or we're across the base, that it's the correct dimension. And then we'll check the diagonals, and we want to make sure that the diagonals are equal, so that the base is where we want it and diagonals are equal. So first we test fit the plates to the post for the knee braces. Now the crew is working on putting together a bent where we take the same posts and we're going to test fit those to the tie beams and ensure that they all fit up. And then once that's complete, we'll go ahead and raise this frame.
And Matt's got the combo square. We got this. No, you got it. I got another one.
You want to draw a reference line on this?
All right, you can kind of see that we're just, after we test fitted a bent, we're kind of standing it up and building just this little teepee here that's going to hold everything in place. And we want to make sure everything is plumbed up when we do that. So yeah, after we do the test fit the wall plates to the post, we go ahead and test fit the tie beams to the posts. And then you can see over here we're actually standing that up so that yeah,
Ideally, I would run one across the bottom and build like a little.
so this kind of this kind of shows you the bent standing up, and it's actually braced into place so that it doesn't fall over. And we kind of test fit that bent, and we're going to work on the other bent over here. We will stand that bent up, and then once that's stood up, we're going to add the two plates and the knee braces to it. Well, that is one interesting looking knee brace.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
That's it. That's how things go, man. I'm telling you. Yep, just standing it up. It's a pretty light bent because this is just 6x6, 6x8. We're getting that just put into position. Getting everything lined up so that when we put the plates up on the post, that it's gonna actually make sense. Just kind of
On the tie beam, Dean. On the tie beam. Over. Set it over.
There you go. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Just setting that up, getting it ready for installation.
There you go.
Just set that thing really nice. Then we got to set this other end, and that
I could probably use a tap.
that tie is going to have to, or that plate has to come down a little bit, and we'll get that all set up.
You're bouncing.
Yeah, good. Remember, she's twisted.
My side
That's
is
the
tight.
twist.
So.
Oh,
Pretty good here.
We gotta get the Matt's knee brace started.
not in the.
So tap the bottom of the post out.
Just a little bit on my side here.
Yeah, we're tight on the inside.
Yeah, this one twists back.
Matt, be a butt.
There it goes.
No, but you look, did you up before bouncing?
Not too much.
That's good.
What about?
Yeah, this is day 4 of the Star Hill Method Essentials class, and we have pretty much wrapped up the little frame that we were working on this week. This is a little woodshed made out of red pine. It's got 6x6 posts, tie beams, plates, and a couple of different sizes of knee braces. And students had the opportunity to learn about layout, learn about hand tools, use of big saws, little saws, chain mortisers, pretty much, some routers, pretty much all of the timber framing tools that you might need. And then after that, we did some test fitting. We cut some knee braces. We did some fitting and put this frame up this afternoon. Tomorrow we're going to cut some rafters and work on some sawhorses and tie up loose ends for the week.
really leaned out a little bit and bring my guide in here. And I made these really snug. They will wear out over time. You can make them.
I was gonna say hit the edge a little.
You can make them a little less snug. Like when I put this together, I put one on and then I pinched the bit in here and screwed the other one down. You know, if you put like a $1 bill or a piece of construction paper or something in there and gave yourself just a little bit of wiggle room, and I build these.
Oh, I thought it was for a clamp. That's good though.
You can put a clamp on it for sure, but either my knee or my boot fits in here, and I'm just gonna start it. And at this point, I've got enough in the wood that it's straight. And now, I'm not going through a mortise right now, but its lead screw's gonna pull it through. I don't want to blow out the other side, even though when these are sharp, you can, and it won't. It'll leave a clean hole, but as you use it over time, it's better practice to try not to. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of back pressure to resist that lead screw, so when it pokes through, it strips and doesn't go all the way through. Oh.
How did you know where you're through? You have a mark, or
You're not there yet.
do you know just know as I say?
Oh, yes, I am. It's right there on the edge.
Piece of tape was hitting.
Yeah, I think put a piece of
You
tape
could,
on.
but when you do that on these, it doesn't eject chips when you get down to it.
No, when you want to stop. It's just
Yeah, you
it's
put a
just
piece of
stopping
tape
point.
around
No,
here.
you'll
If you blue tape around there, but he's
Yeah.
saying it doesn't inject the chips if you have.
Around the bit.
we'll get you set up. You'll feel it. It strips out. It stops automatically, basically.
You can see it down there. You can see the hole because it
And that
cleaned all
gives you
the
a hole to
chips.
go
It
the other way.
stops pulling.
If you have to clear your cutter, if you got stuff in here, do it from the back side because these are sharp and I've cut myself multiple times. Now I've got my hole. This is where my lead screw stripped out. I'm going to put the drill in reverse.
Oh, there you go. Then it's not ripping it.
So we got students' first time using the drill bit jig. It's a Woodall drill bit and just a jig made to line up with the drill bit and enough pressure to put your knee or your boot inside there.
Bring that all the way tight. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm on the low side here.
And once you get down to the top of the jig, you're going to go ahead and remove it.
Yeah. I'll pull the jig out.
You're hitting the. Well, I was pulling up on it too. What was that now? I was hitting the what?
You're hitting the top of the jig.
Oh,
You go
okay.
until you run the.
Right, okay.
You're just pulling up just ever so slightly.
Did you feel when you hit?
It just stops pulling. That little.
Nice. Nice hole.
Oh, there's one.
And then those make some super clean holes.
They do.
You know, with that Woodall bit.
They were